So again, this one takes that back leg kind of out of the movement, so you can't.
Woo! What's up, world? It's your boy Q Jefferson here, and I have received a ton of questions on Q. How do you jump higher? So I thought that I would bring a significant coach that knows all about jumping and explosive movements. If you look at his Instagram, at Coach Foy Boy, you'll see athletes jumping out of the roof, out of the building, and I just want to know how. How do you get these guys to jump so high? And if somebody was sitting there watching this video at home, what are the ways that we can teach them to jump higher?
So I think that there's a few points that you really got to address when you're thinking about jumping higher, right? It comes down to three main things. I would say your body composition, so that means your muscle to fat ratio in your body, right? I would say your lower body strength. Your legs need to produce force to get you off the ground. It's that simple. And then neuromuscular facilitation. So what I mean by that is a mind-muscle connection. How can you recruit everything that you can out of your muscles to propel you off the ground?
Okay. So you got those three different movements, right? And let's just go over them one more time. So number one.
Body composition, for
Body
sure.
composition, what does that mean?
So when you get into it, fat, basically in sports, is just dead weight. It's weighing you down, right? It's like if I told you jump as high as you can right now, and then I said put a weight vest on and jump as high as you can, probably not going to jump as high, right? So it's that simple.
All right, excellent. And then number two.
Number two, lower body strength. So your legs need to be strong. It's really that simple. You got to put in enough force into the ground to get yourself up off the ground as high as possible.
Right, and isn't that so important just in life alone to have strong legs, whether you're jumping high or not? You shouldn't have. All right.
Absolutely.
Perfect. And then number three.
Number three, so this was the neuromuscular facilitation. I know it's a big word, but basically that is just a connection between your mind and your muscle fibers. And that comes with practice, and it comes with jumping and just training your body to utilize every single fiber you have, right, in the best way possible to be as explosive as possible.
What we got to do today is figure out how to get these same principles for people that aren't as talented or gifted, and then just encourage them that with practice with these movements, they can probably add a couple inches.
Yeah, you can definitely add a couple inches. I mean, you brought up a good point with you're either born with it or you're not. And I will say that is a big part of it. Your genetics play a role. The training is about getting you to that ceiling, getting you to that potential, whatever that may be. Right. And that's the best way to get there is through these three principles.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to actually go over these movements with you guys, some practices, some drills that you can work on. But before we get into these, I just want you to know maybe who it is that we're sitting down on the couch with, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe your certifications, your background, what is it that you do now, what is it that you want to do in the future? Why are you here right now? Why are you a vessel for information?
So in terms of education and certificates, I've had my degree in nutrition science and biochemistry, so I've just been studying the body for a long time.
Where'd you graduate from?
University of Arizona.
So
I graduated from. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist, corrective exercise specialist, strength and conditioning coach through the ISSA, NSCA, NASM. All
athlete.
that. Yeah, Iron athlete. Yeah, we did that together.
Okay.
And I've been working with elite collegiate level athletes, professional athletes, specifically in the basketball realm where jumping is, that's your bread and butter, essentially.
Yeah. Who is the number one, greatest athlete that you could say that you've trained? And then who's the next up and coming athlete, in any sport that you think that you're training right now? Because you got people that are going from college to the NBA, and then girls or guys that are going from high school or dancing and volleyball and whatever and going to the next level.
Right.
So who's the top? And then if you could give them a shout out right now, who's the one that you think is on the rise to see something in their career?
I think the obvious one's got to be, I spent a year working with DeAndre Ayton, who is the most recent #1 draft pick
This
in
fool
the
is
NBA.
modest, man. He's the greatest basketball player, like, in all of the world, in the whole globe, right?
So yeah, that's definitely got to be up there. You know, in terms of just quality of athleticism and genetic potential and everything that I've worked with. That was a real honor. And you know, I work with a lot of people through a lot of different sports and avenues. You know, I have a professional Irish dancer, actually, that I've been working with for 2 years, and he just recently placed 18th in the world at the World Championships.
We talking
in
populations,
Ireland,
people. We
you know.
talking about worldly population.
And the funny thing is like if you see these guys up on stage, the height that they get off the ground can be the difference in the points, you know, needed to win or lose. So, you know, you go from the basketball realm, you know, all those aspects that I was talking about, right? It produces a good result in performance. And then you go to this dancer, right? And it's the same thing. It's across the board, you know. So I'd have to say that those two are two that really stand out for me right now.
Okay. What's his name?
Liam Boyd.
Hey, Liam. Salute, soldier. Keep jumping. Keep doing your thing, bro. I hear you be killing them.
And then on top of that, I got to give a shout out. I work with several elite high school volleyball players who are on the rise. Some are committed to University of Arizona, Cal Berkeley. One's looking at Oregon. You know, so they're about a year or two removed from really doing it too, and they benefit from the same things that we've been talking about.
So obviously we got a good candidate for you to listen to. So we're gonna get up off of our seats and we're gonna head over to these spots. We're gonna show you these movements that you can practice. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's roll.
All right, we're gonna start with the Trap Bar Deadlift.
Our model. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so of course, before you start this, make sure your lower back and glutes are sufficiently warmed up. We've already taken care of that. Why don't you show us like 8 good deadlifts here? So notice chest is up, head is up, shoulders are engaged. This back is completely flat as he comes down. His core is tight, right? He's driving through the heels as he stands up. You know, that's pretty much textbook form right there. This is gonna work your glutes, hamstrings, really, really good. And those are the main muscles that you need to jump, you know, your glutes being the best.
Should we do lightweight, lots of reps? Should we do heavyweight, like a little bit of reps? What do you think?
So for me personally, my philosophy is I like to go heavy, right? So the muscle fibers that you need to actually jump are gonna be your biggest fibers that you have. And to recruit those fibers, you have to lift heavy, right? That's just science. So I would say like you have to get up there. Now don't go so heavy that your form breaks down. So relative to keeping good form, you need to be heavy. I like lifting to failure. So I'd say the best range is between maybe 8 and 15 reps. If you're failing somewhere between there, that means your weight is probably in a good spot.
What we got going on right here?
So I'm gonna show you the split squat. This movement is really gonna focus on your glute, right? You're activating your glutes, which I said before is the main muscle involved with jumping. It's also gonna help his flexibility and his unilateral, so single leg strength, right? So notice how he has a nice good distance between his feet. This angle, right, that shin angle between his knee is going straight down. His knee's not coming over his toe. Again, straight up and down, core is tight, pushing through the heel. Perfect. Obviously, make sure you do the same amount on either leg. You don't want to have an imbalance.
Immediately you feel it like in that driving leg, right? Where it would be super important to be able to have this movement. So the split squat, you can see these are 35s. I've only done a couple of them. I'm already gassed.
Yeah, not an easy movement. They're gonna hurt.
What's next?
So it gets better from here, right? So if that wasn't hard enough, we're gonna show the Bulgarian split squat, which is probably the hardest variation, one of the hardest single leg movements that you can do. So same principles apply, except he's gonna have his foot up on the bench. He's gonna take a nice big step forward, right? So again, he can keep this shin angle. So as he comes down, he's gonna kind of go backwards and down at the same time, so he can keep all that weight in the heel, right? That's the most important part. Notice how the knee is not going over the toe. He's really gonna push his flexibility here. So some of you that are more flexible can go all the way down. Others, right? Let's just see what you got. So again, this one takes that back leg kind of out of the movement, so you can't.
Boy,
Hey.
I try to test my flexibility, boy. Hey.
That's what I'm saying. This is an experienced weightlifter, man. I'm telling you, these are money. This could be the cheat code to jumping higher right here, and to growing the booty. Everything. This is money. And if you ever want to torture somebody, make them do these.
Yo, I'm hella jealous for anybody that's good at these, because this is tough, man. Anytime I hear Bulgarian split squats, I'm like, look at the time, I'm out, right? But if you don't ignore these, boy, you going up.
So I've been rocking with these for a long time, and I actually got up to 120 pounds in either hand on these for a set of 4 or 5. Now, granted, that took me years to get up there, but once you can get a single leg strength like that, you're going to be super explosive, super strong, build a lot of muscle. A lot of muscle.
This is 35s, bro. He's talking about 120.
All right, so the last thing we were talking about was this mind-muscle connection, right? Neuromuscular facilitation. So I think a really good way to kind of work on this is plyometrics, and I'm just gonna show one of my favorite plyometric movements. This is called the depth jump. So what you're gonna do is you step off of a box, and you're gonna try to have the quickest reaction time possible off the ground and then jump over some sort of barrier, right? So all he's gonna do is just kind of step off. As he's hitting the ground, right, he's gonna explode up over the hurdle as fast as he can. Perfect. Notice how quick he is off the ground when he's hitting, boom, right? That's money. Perfect.
All right, cool, man. I like that. So we got strength movements, we got balance movements, we're covering flexibility, we're covering power output. It takes a lot to jump.
It really
I think
does.
It takes a lot to jump. But man, from personal experience, just being an athlete my whole life, I can always jump higher depending on how much I weigh. If I weigh a lot, or if I weigh too much than I should, I'm not gonna jump as high as I think that I should be jumping, right? So I think the first step probably that we gotta get people to understand is truly that body composition of like, you gotta be set up to be most prepared for success when it comes to jumping, right? Mm-hmm. If you got extra weight, you can't necessarily expect to jump high.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the first step in any fitness-related goal you're gonna have is probably, that's gonna be a factor, is your body composition, you know.
Right.
I know in his world, you know, he's the weight loss guru, you know, and that's what it's all about. And, you know, him helping people lose weight is gonna lead to any performance-based goal you might have, or aesthetic and physically looking goal, you know, it all comes back to the body comp, you know. And, you know, he's probably one of the best people to talk to about that.
Right, right. And then as far as like athletes, these people don't necessarily have a lot of weight to lose, but an athlete is probably getting prepared for some type of season. So if I'm a basketball player, football player, Irish dancer, anything else like that, and let's say I have a season coming up, when should I start these things? Like yesterday, or should I start it like 2 months out? Like when do you think I should start these things?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it depends a lot on how your season is set up too. You know, some people they work up to one event, you know, like my dancer, like he's working up to one competition really that's a make or break.
Right.
But then you're talking about a guy who's playing an NBA season, you got 82 games.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think the main point is that you want to keep your body in a good spot at all times.
Right.
You know, so, you know, the sooner the better, the sooner you can get your body to adapt to these things, right? It's not going to be as difficult. It's way harder to go up and down, start, stop. You want it to be a consistent flow of just being ready at all times.
Right. I think we're super proud to have you as our first guest on this show, right? Like this is what we want to do, and I couldn't think of anybody better. You're going off to do like great things in the future, and you know, I think you have a lot of fans and a lot of people cheering you on, and you inspire a lot of people. And I just want to know, right? I want to finish all of my shows just like this. I want to know, what are 3 words that you want people to use, like to describe you, right? Like if you weren't in a room and somebody was like, yo, Q, give me 3 words to describe Eli Foy, what should those 3 words be to me? And I should be able to see those by just looking at your life. What are those 3 words?
You know, I think those 3 words would definitely be pride, passion, and motivation.
Okay.
I think that's how I like to live my life, man. And you know,
Excellent.
good things happen when you do that.
Absolutely, I agree, and just firsthand, I see that stuff from this guy every single day, every single year I've been around him, and man, I just want to thank you for your time today, and appreciate your heart for wanting to help people out there. So do me a favor, like and subscribe to this YouTube channel so we can continue feeding stuff like this. Go follow this guy on Instagram, Coach Foy Boy. He can take you places, and just be excited to follow this guy's journey, and keep showing us love. Be excited to follow this guy's journey, and keep showing us love.
It's been a blast.
Fuck.